Okay, so we are going to take a look at questions 206 to 215. We're going to start off with 5 questions and then we'll take a break in between. So let's go ahead and get started with the first one. So 206. Take a moment and go ahead and highlight the important information, you guys, that you see there. Okay, so this is a solving a quadratic equation. This is your quadratic equation. Make sure you guys box that by completing the square. If you have your cell phone out, please put your cell phone away as we are getting started with classes right now. So make sure you guys are paying attention. And for those of you guys who are already doing that, thank you for doing that by completing the square. So which step did she make her first mistake? Okay, so step number 1. If I look at this right here, she moved the 13 over to the right side and it's a positive 13. So far that looks good. Step 2, she factored out the 4. If you take out a 4 here, you guys, what goes inside is x squared. What's 8 divided by 4? It should be a 2. And if you look at this right here, is that a 2 right there? Nope. So she made a step 2 mistake. So that wasn't too bad. All right, next one. Go ahead and take a moment and highlight it. All right, so the graph of which function has an axis of symmetry. So your key word here is axis of symmetry. And so axis of symmetry at -1/4. So the way that you find this, AOS, is x is equal to -b/2a. Okay, that is how you're going to find your x value. So let's go ahead and say my answer was D. I know it's not D, but hypothetically, let's say it's D. You can see that your A is equal to 1, your B is equal to -2, and your C is equal to +1, right? If I plug that into this axis of symmetry, -B is a -2 over 2 times A. Double negative makes it a positive, so +2 over 2 is a 1. Now, is that the same thing as a -1/4? No, it's not, but that's how you will prove that it's not the answer. Now, I know my answer here is A as an apple. That should be the correct answer. So let's check to make sure. A equals 2, B equals 1, C equals -1. I want you guys to plug that into this equation, -B over 2A. And if you look at it, -B over 2A, 2 times 2 is a 4. Is that the same thing as the question? Yep, it is. And that's why your answer is A as an apple. All right, let's go on to 208, you guys. Go ahead and graph that, or not graph it, highlight it. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at this. Which graph has a minimum located at this right here? So what it's talking about is you're still going to be looking for your axis of symmetry. X is equal to negative b over 2a. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at this. Your correct answer is C. And if you look at this part here, A is 1/2, B is -4, C is 5. Once we have that, we're going to plug it into this equation. Negative B is a negative -4 over 2A is 2 times 1 over 2. If I look at this right here, double negative makes it a positive 4. What's 1/2 of 2? 1/2 of 2 is just going to be 1, right? X equals 4. And guess what? That's correct. That is definitely 4 right there for X. But I need to figure out Y equals -3. So once you have X, you're going to do F of 4. And wherever you see a 4, an X, you're going to replace that X with that 4. So using that equation in C, I have 1/2 X squared minus 4 times X plus 5. So let's put a 4 here and a 4 here. 4 times 4 is a 16. What is 1/2 of 16? So you're like $16, and you're going to go ahead and divide it by 2. What would that give you? Half of $16 is 8. And then -4 times 4 is a 16 plus 5. Well, 8 minus 16 is a -8. Plus 5 is a -3. And ta-da! Is that -3 the same thing as the Y that you just found? Yes, it is. And that is why your answer here is C as in cat. All right, let's take a look at 209. Okay, so using a graphing calculator, graph this quadratic function and then find which value is the solution to that. All right, your answer obviously here is B as in boy. So let's go ahead and see why is your answer B as in boy. Okay, so 0 equals x squared minus 5x minus 36. So here it's saying x is equal to -4. So wherever you see an x here, you're going to replace that number with -4. And we want to make sure it equals 0. So 0 equals -4 squared minus 5 times -4 minus 36. All right, so let's take a look at this. -4 times -4 is a positive 16. Double negative makes it a positive. That's a 20 minus 36. 16 and 20 gives you a 36. Is 36 minus 36 0? Yes, it is. All right, last question before a break. What are the solutions of the quadratic equation? Go ahead and highlight the important information, you guys. All right, so what are the solutions to this right here? So we're gonna go ahead and add the 16 on both sides, okay? Solution just means what are the x values? That's essentially what it's asking me to find. When I add 16 on both sides, 16 cancels, I'm gonna bring down 4, x minus 3 squared equals 16. And then we're gonna go ahead and get rid of that 4 right here. Opposite of a times by 4 is it divided by 4. And so I'm gonna cancel that and have x minus 3 squared equals 4. And then I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that square. So what's opposite of a square? A square root. And so remember your square and square root cancels. X minus 3 is on the right side. What's a square root of 4? If you have a calculator, it's going to give you a plus and minus 2. So there's a positive 2 and a negative 2. Okay, so then your last step is what's opposite of a negative 3? A positive 3. So that negative positive 3 cancels. And you're like, what is my answer, Callahan? Your answer is going to be these two answers right here. You got to do one extra step. You got to split it. Positive 2 plus 3. Split it. Negative 2 plus 3. So which one's that going to be? Well, it's going to be 5 and negative or positive 1. And that is your answer, you guys. Okay, so with that said, your next part here is to do your reflection. All right, let's go ahead and take a look. Yeah, let's go and take a look at this one right here, you guys, for number 211. What is the difference in the polynomial? This will be super simple, I promise you guys. Okay, so you see the 3s and the 2s right there? We're just gonna line them up. So we have 5 x to the third plus 4x squared. You see the minus right there? If it's a minus, everything changes. Positive, so it becomes a negative. Positive, positive. So put minus, you gotta line them up, 6x squared, minus or plus 2, plus 9, like that. Just line it up, okay? And then you're just gonna simply add them. And see how I'm highlighting them? X cubed with the x cubed, x squares with the x squared. And there's an x right here, by the way. So let's drop it down. 5x cubed minus 2x squared plus 2x plus 9. And that is D as in dog, you guys. All right, here we go. Ooh, this looks like a great question. Tiles along the edge of a triangular community pool needs to be replaced. So I'm going to change this side, this side, this side. I'm like, what kind of a community pool is in shape of a triangle? Never seen one like that before. What is the total perimeter? Perimeter, I want you guys to box it. It just means add the sides. That's all it means. Add up the sides. So let's do that. Here's the first side, 4x squared plus 15. Second side, 8x plus 10. You see how I'm lining them up? X with the x's, x squared with the x squared. Third side, 8x squared. And you just add them up, you guys. So the first one you have is the x squared that I'm highlighting in yellow. And then you guys have the x's in orange. And then you have the numbers in green. You just add them up. 12, x squared, 8, x, 15, and 10 adds to 25. And that is it. So this is actually not difficult. This is adding and subtracting polynomial, which is one heck of a lot easier than multiplying polynomial. So if you could do multiplying polynomial, like factoring and all that stuff, this should be pretty easy. 3 more questions, we can get it. All right, here we go. 213. Shayna enlarge a square photo by adding. So first thing we're gonna do is let's go ahead and draw a square photo. Here's a square photo. By adding 10 inches to each side, so it could be seen on a larger poster. So this is 10 inches. So she's adding 10 on all 4 sides. The area of the large one is 256 in that equation. X represents the side measure of the original square. What were the dimensions of the original photo? Okay, well, this is not too bad. X plus 10 squared equals 256. First thing I'm gonna do is what's opposite of a square? It's not a circle, it's a square root. So when I do that, square and square root cancels. And I have x plus 10 equals, grab your calculator, what is the square root of 256? Yeah, I'm covering a class today for 5th. And so I'm like, well, it's Thanksgiving. I might as well give them some printout stuff, you know, so that way they can, because I can't trust that they'll have lesson plans here. And I don't want to show up and be like completely lost. All right, I believe it is, what is it? Is it, it's not 15. What is it, you guys? 16? Is it 16? Yes, it is 16. What's 16 minus 10? Ta-da! 6. 6 by 6. It's a square pool. So if one side is 6, the other side is 6 as well. All right, what is the axis of symmetry? AOS, x equals negative b over 2a. That's your axis of symmetry formula. A is negative 2, b is 12. We're gonna plug it in here. Negative b is negative 12, 2a is 2 times negative 2. So what is negative 12 divided by negative 4? Double negative makes it a positive. 12 divided by 4 is going to give you a 3. We have 2 more minutes. We can do this. Write this in vertex form. So in order for me to write this in vertex form, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take out the 7. x squared plus 6x plus blank. Next, I'm going to take the middle number, which is 6. Okay, 6 divided by 2 squared. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. But because you took out the 7 right here, you have to take your 7 and times it by that new number 9. So what's 7 times 9? 63. So let's rewrite this. 7x plus, it's always going to be the parenthesis, the number in the parenthesis, 3 squared minus 63, which, ta-da, is D as in dog. And we have 1 extra minute to spare, you guys, so you did just great. So go ahead and bring that up, and we are done.